Good evening, everyone. I want to start off by saying that any music that you may hear in the background, I do not own the rights to. Um, Having a little trouble with the Facebook Live. I'm unable to go live from my uh, Apple computer for some reason. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong, but I just wanted to come on. I had a very exciting weekend. I've been around some phenomenal people this weekend, and I just wanted to encourage those of you who are moving forward in your ministry, those of you who may feel like you are stagnant in what God is calling you to do. I just want to encourage you to not give up. Keep pressing, keep moving forward, keep on allowing God to speak to your spirit, and trust Him, trust the process. Uh, that was one of the things that was spoken over my life this weekend, was just to trust the process. And I am so grateful to God for sending a word my way and confirming some things in my life. So I know that if He can do it for me, He can do it for you. So I just wanted to come on this evening and encourage you and let you know that there is nothing too hard for God. There is no thing that He has not put in your way that He has not prepared you for. As we find ourselves in the refiner's fire, there are times that the burn can be excruciating, but if it's one thing that I've learned, is that pain is part of the process. It can make you stronger, it can make you wiser, but most of all, it will give you the endurance to move forward. So don't let the pain of whatever it is that you might be going through cause you to become indifferent in what you know God is calling you to do. Knowing that He has called you is something that you have to believe. Confidence is not arrogance. You have to know that having confidence in who God has called you to be does not make you arrogant. It makes you assured. It makes you wise. It confirms that you trust the Lord, that you believe what He said about you. And that can be hard sometimes when you're around individuals or people who seem to think that all of your gifts and all of the special things that God has placed in you are somehow making them look less important. They'll try and make you feel like your certainty in who God has established you to be is somehow a level of arrogance. But I'm here to tell you that confidence is a part of your walk. It's a part of your trust in the Lord, having faith in who He's called you to be and what you know He has affirmed in you, in your very knowing, in your very being. That's the key to growing. That's the key to becoming everything that He's promised you that you can be. So please, please know who you are, and I promise you that your path will be clear. The knowing is an important part of the growing. So this weekend I had the honor of standing with one of my spiritual daughters. Miss Angela Wharton was awarded the, I want to say it right, the India Author Legacy Award. For those of you who may be on my page, I'm sure you've seen Angela's beautiful little brown round face online as she grows and as she presses forward in the endeavors that God has placed over her life. I want to say congratulations to her, but she allowed me to come to this event with her. She calls it an invitation, but I call it a allowing me in the room, because how many of you know that when you're growing, you have to have the tenacity to go in a room full of people who are more intelligent, who have more information, who are willing to impart and just allow you to sit and be a part of their conversation. And that's what I experienced this weekend, going with Angela to this prestigious event. Angela received the Maya Angelou Lifetime Award for her work as an author, as a activist, and for what I believe God is calling her to in regards to her legacy that she's leaving in the foundation of this earth. A mighty, powerful woman of God. Congratulations, Angela, and thank you so much for allowing me to come into the room with you and allowing me to be able to be around phenomenal people like Dr. Oliver Reed. He was the keynote speaker at this event, and he was phenomenal. He spoke about the challenges in his journey to an author of over 20 books that he has written and helped individuals to grow in their process. Yeah, phenomenal gentleman with a message of hope for all of you who think that because of where you come from or your circumstances, your genealogy, your biological situation, who your daddy is, who your mama is. We can't choose our families, but I can tell you God can choose our destiny. And in the process of that, this gentleman became an established author and a teacher, a professor, and a renowned speaker. He spoke into my life last night about how in the midst of his storm, sitting somewhere unemployed, not knowing what he was going to do, he started to write a book. And from that, he published a book that was able to change individuals' lives. So I want to talk to that individual out there who may be in a situation where you're not sure what you're going to do. And everything that you thought was going to be happening this time this year has been put on the back burner because of what has happened in your life, whether it be losing a job, or whether it be having to move, or whether it be just switching jobs, getting a new supervisor and the situation changing, whatever the case may be. I'm here to tell you, if you will trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge God, He will direct your path. Dr. Oliver Reed is a witness, and he is an example of what God will do when you trust Him. I also met a wonderful woman of God, Dr. Morrison, who is the only African American impressionist, female impressionist, I should say. And this woman is phenomenal, hilarious, full of grace and humility, but full of certainty about who she is. And she spoke about how going back over her life, how the challenges of her life have set her in places around phenomenal individuals, but she still stayed focused and believed in who she was created to be. She wasn't like everybody else, but she knew the things that God had given her were special. So she began to use those tools to become a woman who's traveling all over the nation. She's open for Monique at her residency in Las Vegas, and she's just done awesome work. And it was a blessing to be in the room with her and just have a conversation with her. And another woman who's laying a legacy for us, who's breaking through that glass ceiling. Women of God, we have a place in history, and these individuals are trailblazers. They're setting us up for victory if we will just follow the example of their tenacity, of their confidence, and of their assurance in who they know God has created them to be. Another individual that I was able to speak with was Dr. Dre. Now, not Dr. Dre for beats, but I actually was able to sit with and conversate and laugh with the real Dr. Dre. Google it. I won't go into the details, but a renowned physician who has written articles, books was just the most generous, humble human being. And it was an honor to be in the room and to sit down and conversate with him. All of the different authors and individuals and people who were in the room, they were full of life, full of vigor. I'm telling you, when you get past a certain age, a lot of us feel like, well, I don't know what everybody else knows and I can't do what everybody else can do. But wisdom, that's something special. So when you know that you are who God has created you to be, keep on hitting on that confidence point, because oftentimes we are made to believe as Christians that humility is something that we have to exude in order for people to see us as godly. And yes, yes, trust me and listen to me. You must walk in humility. Walking in humility, but always portraying yourself as a person who is mousy and little and you just can't. No, that's not God. He's the author and the finisher of our faith. He's the Alpha, the Omega, the Lion of Judah. Listen to the verbs and the nouns that we use to describe him. There's nothing mealy mouth about that. He walks in confidence. And had Jesus not known who he was, the Pharisees would have made him believe he was a heretic. But when you know who you are, you're able to do great things because you know who has your back. You know what your promises are. Believe in who you are, children of God. It's important that we be established in who God has created us to be. So it was an exciting Saturday evening, which I don't get to, I'm normally in bed trying to get ready for church, but and prepare for wherever it is that God has ordained me to be for a Sunday morning. Whether it's to speak, whether it's to encourage someone, to counsel someone, to cry with a mother who may have lost their child, or just to hold up somebody's arms if they're preaching somewhere, to be a covering and to encourage. So just know that your ministry needs to reach beyond the walls of the sanctuary. You have to be able to apply yourself in every place that God may lead you. Wherever your foot treads, ministry should be dripping from you. You have to be walking in confidence and certainty in order to do that. So another individual who spoke into my life this weekend was a professor and a teacher in the Baltimore City school system, but also she's working with the state for adult education here in the state of Maryland, is a beautiful young lady named Elisa Lee. Wow. When I tell you the knowledge and the wisdom and the confidence of this young lady has inspired me to be everything that I know that God has created me to be. She walks and exudes confidence, but most of all, she's certain of what it is that she's supposed to be doing. So it's just awesome to watch this young woman speak, how she encourages, never a negative word, but teaching and giving wisdom and knowledge all of the way. It was just an honor to be in her presence this weekend and for her to speak into my life. So that was earlier today, and it was just wonderful to be around all the individuals who were in the room. A lot of talent and a lot of wisdom. So I'm thanking God for all that He's doing in my life right now. Sometimes we find ourselves with change, but it's okay. And particularly when you're used to doing something one way all the time. But how many of you know that God is ever changing, that He's always moving, He's always growing, He's always pulling us into more? so that we're able to do what He's created us to do. We are His voice in this earth. And in